Good morning. Good morning. We have plenty of seats down here in front, so don't be shy. Come on down here and feel free to sit there. If you're on the outside of a row with some seats, if you don't mind to scoot in or make room for some folks that might trickle in here. Thank you for being here this morning. We are very glad to have you. My name is Lee Harrison. I am Vice President for Marketing and Enrollment here at Milligan, and I'd like to have you help me welcome President Greer.
Thank you, Lee. Today is a landmark day in the history of Milligan College, and thanks to each of you for joining us as we make a very important announcement regarding Milligan's future. But before we do that, hold on just for a minute. Before we do that, I think it's important that we reflect just a bit on our past. In case you have forgotten your Milligan history, let me remind you of a few important milestones. Wilson Barker started the Buffalo Male and Female Institute on these very grounds in 1866. A few years later, Josephus Hopwood and his wife, Sarah LaRue, came here for the purpose of leading that institution. And in 1882, this academy was elevated to collegiate status and renamed Milligan College in honor of Hopwood's favorite and most influential professor, Robert Milligan. In its early days, it had three primary goals: the thorough training of the student, the prohibition of the whiskey traffic, and the spreading of the teachings of Christ to the world. We still pursue 2 out of 3. I'll let you be the judge of which 2. And so it was that the college continued this mission, pursuing these goals for the first several decades of its history, with particular success during the presidency of Henry Durthick, who retired in 1940. But the challenges of staying open after the Depression and during wartime led the college to turn its entire operation over to the federal government. And in 1943, Milligan became the only college in the country to serve as a naval officers training school. Happily for us, the college returned to civilian service after World War II. And by 1950, with the arrival of President Dean Walker, Milligan began to establish itself as an institution of high quality and noble purpose. The college earned regional accreditation for the first time in 1960 and set its course toward becoming an institution recognized for high-quality programs, its commitment to the Christian liberal arts, and for its focus upon students and excellence in teaching. Over the decades that followed, under the leadership of the presidents and trustees who followed, Milligan has transformed itself into a leader in the preparation of students for lives of success, lives of significance, and lives of service. In early 2011, as I was about to become Milligan's 15th president, I had a couple of alumni ask me to promise them that I would not change the name of this institution from Milligan College to Milligan University. And I was consistent in saying that I could not and would not make that promise. For while I have an attachment myself to the name Milligan College, I could only promise that what I would do is my very best to lead Milligan forward, ensuring that we continue to offer programs that are central to our mission and relevant to the market. And I pledged that we were going to organize our academic programs and administrative functions in a way that would help us be more successful at accomplishing our mission and serving our students. And this we have done. And I promised that we'd only change the name if and when it best served the interest of Milligan. I believe that time has come. The board and I had been considering this question for some time. I've heard from lots of folks about it. And then in October 2018, I received a letter from Drs. Lee and Pat Magnus encouraging me to consider changing the name. And that letter carried a lot of weight, not just because they are much loved professors whose love for Milligan is unparalleled. The letter also carried weight because Lee admitted to me that he had been the strongest opponent for changing the name years earlier, but was now the strongest advocate for doing so. And so, motivated by their encouragement as well as that of many others, we continued the process of discerning what would be in the best interest of Milligan regarding our name and designation. And we took a close look at the Milligan of today and reviewed the many accomplishments that have brought us to this point. Among them, Milligan is now composed of 5 schools, including the William B. Green School of Business and Technology, along with 4 name-available schools. Did you notice that little commercial? It was so subtle. The School of Arts and Humanities, the School of Bible and Ministry, the School of Sciences and Allied Health, the School of Social Sciences and Education. With that organization, we in fact became a university, if not in name. We offer 2 doctoral degrees and about a dozen master's degrees, in addition to an increasing array of undergraduate programs that prepare men and women for lives of impact and service. And they're varied, from English to engineering, from music to nursing, from humanities to business, from education to ministry. But all of our programs remain firmly built upon a general education core that ensures the benefits of a broad-based Christian liberal arts education. About a third of our students are enrolled in graduate programs, which include degrees offered at Emmanuel Christian Seminary at Milligan, highly competitive programs in occupational therapy and physician assistant studies, easy for me to say, as well as outstanding programs in education, business, computer information systems, counseling, and the humanities. We're classified by organizations like the Carnegie Foundation and U.S. News and World Report as a university. In fact, this year we're ranked number 13 on the list of the best regional universities in the South by U.S. News. And finally, an increasing number of our students come from countries outside the U.S. This year alone, over 30 countries are represented, and enrollment of international students is on the increase, growing 28% over last year alone. In fact, nearly 10% of this year's incoming class came from foreign countries, and 5% of our student body are from foreign countries. We believe this number can grow, but the name college is a barrier in other countries where colleges are often considered inferior to universities. That's not necessarily true in the U.S., but certainly it is abroad. And so, as we celebrate all that has shaped us into who we are today, we have decided that now is the time. And I'm pleased to announce that the Milligan College Board of Trustees has voted to change the name of Milligan College to Milligan University effective June 1, 2020. Some of you were speculating. Were you correct? Yeah, you were correct. I told some faculty if they didn't know already, then they had not been paying attention. The name Milligan University reflects who we are today and our journey to this moment, as you can see in this brief video. It is my pleasure to introduce the chairman of Milligan's Board of Trustees, Mr. Ron Dove, who has a few remarks on behalf of the board.
Thank you, Dr. Greer. On behalf of the Milligan College Trustees, who are soon to be Milligan University Trustees, I want to add my thanks that all of you are here on this important day. The board, along with Milligan's senior administration, have worked carefully, thoughtfully, and prayerfully to discern what is best for Milligan, as we're charged with stewarding this institution into what promises to be a very exciting future. We agree that the designation Milligan University best describes who we are and who we will continue to be. And it certainly says to the world that we are a diverse and dynamic educational institution with a wide array of programs at both the undergraduate and graduate level. You know, Milligan, as the video showed, Milligan has truly come a long way since its founding more than 150 years ago. You know, since my own grandparents moved to the shores of Buffalo Creek 70 years ago, and since many of us here today first became acquainted with this truly wonderful place. This decision is not something that has been taken lightly. It's not something that's been rushed into haphazardly. Rather, through much prayer, discernment, and discussion, with the encouragement of many of you, many alumni, faculty, and others, this change is being made. We are all in and excited about this new chapter in Milligan's history. The board is grateful for the support that you and so many others have demonstrated to Milligan over the years. And we look forward to seeing how Milligan University will continue to impact our world. Thank you.
Thank you, Ron, and thanks to all of the trustees and advisors who have had the wisdom and courage to make a change that I think is so important for Milligan and our future. I just shared with the advisors a bit ago that my family history is enough to illustrate that if I can deal with the change, anyone can. My grandfather played baseball here over 100 years ago for Milligan. My mom went here. I met my wife here. Our kids both graduated from here. Our granddaughter will graduate from here. She's 4, so it's a while, but it'll happen. So it is. So if I can as a emotionally attached alum process through this, anybody can. But I'm also happy to make another announcement today. I'm pleased to tell you that the first project that will be undertaken by Milligan University will be truly student-centered. In fact, it will literally be the student center. You saw a brief glimpse of it in the video, and I heard some chatter about what is that exactly. Well, that's a potential of what it will look like. Pretty dramatic improvement to the Student Center. Beginning in late spring of next year, we'll be giving the Student Center a facelift. As you can see, the new center will have a number of new outdoor seating and fellowship areas, a new facade that will enable the building to stand out on campus as the place for students to spend free time and study, grab a bite to eat, or pick up that new Milligan University sweatshirt or hat. Inside the Student Center will be opened up with a lot more open space for study, fellowship, and larger events. We'll be modernizing the bookstore and the retail experience there, enlarging the student gathering area known as Sub 7, and tying everything into the grill, which was just renovated a few years ago. And we'll also be adding the doors that go up, that lift up, so that you guys can have, oh no, there's applause almost for that. You can enjoy the outdoors even when you're sitting just inside. You'll see furnishings and more modern finishes. It'll just make it a place where we'll all want to spend more time. And I'm deeply grateful to the 3C Lane Foundation of Atlanta, Georgia, for making this project possible. Their generosity has been manifest through their support of the Neely Scholarships at Emmanuel Christian Seminary, and will now impact the entire university as we carry out this project right in the middle of campus. So please join me in thanking the 3C Lane Foundation. And finally, I guess I just want to add that while our name and our program offerings may change, who we are at our very core has not wavered for over 150 years. We remain committed to the Christian liberal arts and to preparing students for lives of service. And I just asked the questions. I asked the trustees and advisors this question yesterday. Why is this so important? Why do we do this? Why do we work so hard to recruit students so they can experience the kind of education that Milligan provides? One that is intentionally designed to instill critical thinking and broad-based learning. One that is grounded in the truth that comes only from God's Word. One that prepares men and women to lead and serve. Why do we raise funds for scholarships, for the endowment, for buildings, for innovative programs so that the mission of Milligan not only survives, but thrives? Why do we lovingly care for this campus so that its beauty is instantly apparent and so that the glory of God's creation is abundantly visible in this place? Why do we research, study, prepare lessons that challenge, prepare, and inspire our students? Why do we commit ourselves each and every day to stand firm upon our convictions in a world that seems increasingly hostile to faith-based organizations? We do it because we still believe that Milligan's first president, Josephus Hopwood, was right when he said that the purpose of education is to create within our students a truer view of life with a larger soul, with broader and more correct ideas of man, of nature, and of God. I still believe this is true. But if you can't remember Josephus Hopwood's somewhat long-winded case for Christian education, then remember his wife's. She simply said, Christian education is the hope of the world. And that is why we do this. So thanks to each of you for making our work possible. Once again, I'm grateful for your presence today as we celebrate the upcoming transition to Milligan University and the renovation of the Student Center. Is truly, truly an exciting time for Milligan, and I'm so glad you're all part of it. So thank you for coming. And go Buffs, right? Yeah, oh!